Yo, so Filmora 13 just dropped, and here's everything that's new. Starting off with the Filmora Copilot bot. This is basically an AI assistant provided by Filmora, and it helps you by answering your Filmora related questions in great detail. So ask away your questions right here and it will answer it for you. Moving on, they've added something known as AI music. What it does is it helps users create their own music, which is of course non-copyrighted, using these options available here. Of course, the options right now are pretty limited, but Filmora will most likely add more options in the future. Moving on, they've also added a new feature known as Compound Clip. Now, to summarize what Compound Clip is and to make it easy to understand, it's basically the pre-compose function that can be found in After Effects. And if you have used After Effects, you're probably familiar with it and you know how useful it is when you're making long and like many effectful transitions and edits. So I'll make a separate tutorial on this particular feature and show you all the things, how it works and how it can be used, so stay tuned for that. Moving on, they've also added something known as AI vocal remover, which can be accessed by right clicking on your clip and pressing this option. Now what this does is it actually separates the vocals and the background music. For example, right now I'll play this video and you can see how much background audio this has. Now this is particularly useful for people who make their own audio, actually not make their own audio but combine their audio with anime character voices to create unique effects. So it's pretty useful. Once again, I'll show this in great depth in another one of my tutorials. Moving on, they have also added one of the most anticipated features ever, which is known as Keyframe Graphs. Now this is a very useful feature. What this does is if you add keyframes on your clip, you can now graph them. For example, if I add a keyframe here for the scale and add this to this, you can see that a graph pops up. Now if I move it up and down, you can actually graph it. So very useful feature. Moving on, there's also a new masking tool known as the AI mask brush. Now I know what you're thinking. This is pretty similar to the roto brush that can be found in After Effects, and yes, it is similar to it. And yes, the idea behind it is also similar, but of course it's in Filmora, and since Filmora's interface is much more simpler than After Effects, it's much more easier to use. Another thing that they've added is known as smooth slow motion. So for example, if I slow down my clip, there is this new option here which wasn't available before, and if you click this drop down menu, you'll see that there's two more options. So these two options can make your slow motion much more smoother, and this option especially here allows some of your clips, not all, some of your clips to actually become textured, right? So that's also pretty neat. Another thing that they've added is just playback shortcuts. So if I were to start my video and and if I would press L, it just fast forwards it, and if I were to press J, it would just reverse the video, and if I were to press K, it would just pause the video. So that's basically it. And yeah, that's basically it. That's all that's new in Filmora 13. Of course, some of the features I've only brushed over. I'll explain those features in my future tutorials since they require a much greater depth in explanation, so it will take some time. But I hope this video was helpful for you in understanding the overview of the features that they have added. And yeah, that's basically it. So I'll see you guys in the next tutorial. Bye.